Hello everyone, it's the Jadders here, and I'm here to bring you a review of the Microsoft Surface RT tablet. So let's get started, shall we? Just quickly looking at the design of the tablet, we can see that we have a very beautiful 10.6-inch display with a resolution of 1366 by 768, giving it a PPI of 148. It is a bit on the low end, comparing it with things like the iPad or the Nexus 10 or things like that. You can see pixels when you read text, and if video quality is not as good as it could be. But overall, if you're used to sort of regular resolution, if you're not used to very, very high pixel densities, this will be fine for you. Now, the Surface features a 1.3 GHz Tegra 3 quad-core processor with 2 gigabytes of RAM and 32 and 64 gigabyte versions. I will say though that out of those 32 gigabytes, this version is a 32 gigabytes obviously. Out of those 32 gigabytes, you can only use 16 gigabytes of storage. The rest is actually taken up by the OS and all the memory inside used to run the device. So it is lying to us in a way, saying that you have 32 gigabytes when you can only really use 16. But it does come with a micro SD card slot and obviously a USB port, which I'll get to in a minute. Now, looking over to the side of the tablet, we can see that we have a proprietary connector which is used to connect the charger. It's kind of like MagSafe 2 in a way. It's connected via magnets, although I will say that the magnets don't tend to be very strong and it can be a bit flimsy at times, especially at night time when you're just trying to connect it quickly. Just to the right of that, you can see we have a USB 2.0 port, which is very good if you want to connect things like mouses or flash drives or anything like that. Micro HDMI slots and a speaker as well. At the very top, we have the power button, which is used to turn on the device, right there. Over to the bottom, we have the dock, which is used to connect the touch and type covers, which I'll get to in a minute. And to the left side of the tablet, we have another speaker, headphone jack, volume rocker, and a notch to deploy the kickstand, which you can just easily take out using your fingers like that. Now, the kickstand is very good because it allows you to set the tablet on any kind of flat surface or even sometimes slightly uneven surface, and it just sits there like that and you don't have to touch it at all. It just sits there. You can easily watch a movie on this. It's a 16:9 aspect ratio, so you will get full screen movie viewing, can set off like that. I will say though that I really would have wished Microsoft would have made this a bit more adjustable. You can only reset it to one angle, which is a bit annoying, but it's better than nothing, and it's very, very nice to actually have the kickstand. Right in here you can see what I mentioned before. You have a small micro SD card slot right there, which, like you can see, I have one in there already. And you can just slide it in nicely and then close the kickstand and it just stays there. Now, the whole body of the Surface is made out of this very nice magnesium material. Microsoft call it Vapor Mag, which is basically a thin layer of magnesium, and it's very, very nice. It feels very high quality. It doesn't feel any sort of sticky or plasticky. I will say though that it does tend to attract a lot of fingerprints, especially when after probably using it for an hour or two, just gripping it like this. It is incredibly light as well. If it's 1.5 pounds, it's a bit heavier comparing it with something like an iPad or the Nexus 10 or things like that. But it's still very light. It's a very nice feel when you hold it in your hands. It doesn't feel cheap at all. Now, talking about the actual OS of the device, you can see that it runs a tablet version of Windows 8 called Windows RT. And there are some key differences. For one, you can't install any external applications, so things like iTunes or Google Chrome or Photoshop, you can't download because it doesn't support that. It doesn't allow you to actually install third-party applications. And that means that the only applications you can install are through the Windows Store, which is very annoying because, as you'll see here in a minute, that Windows Store does not have a great deal of apps available. There are very few apps. You can see right now Twitter was just released, I think, a few weeks ago, and Facebook isn't even on here, and it's very, very limited in terms of the variety of apps you get. There are some good ones, things like eBay or Amazon. There's some things like Kindle are on here, but generally overall there aren't a lot of apps that I use, and I think it's a really, really big letdown. I really wish Microsoft would spend a bit more time trying to get developers to get more apps onto the store. Now, the actual OS is very smooth. You can see right here, I'm just swiping through my all my applications, and you can see it's kind of like iPad in a way, where you swipe, where you have all your applications and you kind of just swipe to view all of them. But it's very nice because you feature what's called live tiles, so you can see here on my news feed and my photos and my People's app, they're all constantly updating and feeding me with new information. So in my news, I'm getting the latest news updates, my photos, and flicking through all the photographs. And majority apps have this feature. A few don't, but obviously things like Play Guitar don't need that, or things like Audible don't really need that. Things like my Amazon and eBay will come with notifications when I'm viewing things, when I've sold something or when I bought something. But it's very, very smooth. It's very, very nice. You can pinch to zoom. It's very smooth. View all your applications from that. It's easily switched between different parts right there, and it's very, very nice and very, very smooth. And obviously anything you need to access, if you need to go back to the start menu, for example, if I can go to desktop here, I can either click the home button or excuse me there, either click the home button, or I can swipe to the right, which brings up what is called the charms bar, and that basically means you can search things on the application, share, start, go back to your start menu, any devices you have, any settings, so you can go to notifications, turn the power off, or any specific settings on the application. So that's very. Now, another thing I'm really impressed about with the Surface RT is just how smooth internet browsing is with Internet Explorer 10. You can see here I've got it loaded up, I've got YouTube loaded up, and you can see it's very, very smooth, almost no lag at all, very, very responsive, very smooth, very, very nice experience. And pinch to zoom, you can see there almost little to no delay at all, no lag from here, very smooth, very nice. And it's very, very good because most things like the Nexus Standard I found to lag a bit sometimes when you web browsing, or just a bit of a choppiness in some things, but it's very smooth. And the really good thing about it is that you get the whole screen to view your website. It's not like where you have it's where you have tabs, or some things like that at the bottom that restrict your view. You have full screen viewing of the website, and if you want to access your tabs or anything, you can easily swipe downwards or do the same swipe upwards, and you can switch applications. So you can see right there, just switch an application and going back to YouTube, and it's very, very easy and very, very nice, and you can just get rid of it there. It's very quick. Now obviously I couldn't make this review without mentioning the touch and type covers. I can tell you I have used both the touch and type covers, and my general preference tends to be the type cover, because obviously you have tactile keys that you can press, and the keys tend to be a bit bigger on the touch cover, because you have bigger squares, where that you have to be very precise. And I also found on the touch cover that you have to strike the keys, and you have to strike it quite hard. So you can't break type as fast as you can, because you have to constantly pressing it very hard, and it can bring a bit of a strain on your fingers, because you're constantly just like tapping it down like that, and it's very quick, very annoying and slow. Whereas with this, you can type very quickly. It's very easy. You don't have to. They don't have. The keys don't press down too much, so it's a bit. There's not a great deal of tactility, but it's very, very quick, and you can obviously use it very quickly. And you can see right here, I'm just typing some very quick things. Hello, this is the Surface RT review, and you can just see that there. Very quickly type that, very quick. One good thing I like about the cover in general is that because you don't have it's not very big, but because of that, you get a very nice sort of distance between. You don't have to move your hands quite a lot when you're typing on big sized keyboards, whereas this you could just type, and you can type very quickly, very, very very, very fast, excuse me. And then you can use the trackpad as well, which you can use to change the mouse around, and you get 2 fingers just to swipe through all the applications, things like that. It's very, very nice and very quick. And obviously it acts as a touch cover, a smart cover as well. So if you close it down and you leave it like that, it closes the actual screen. So you can see that there, and I can open it, and then it turns itself back on. And it's very, very nice, and it's very good if you just want to, just quickly just leave it back there and just leave it like that. Now, one thing I really thought was worthy of mentioning is that you get Microsoft Office 2013 built straight in, out of the box, full versions. They're not any dumbed down tablet versions or mobile versions. You get full Word 2013, PowerPoint 2013, Excel, and OneNote 2013, and you can click them, and it goes into desktop mode. And then you can view any templates you want, and very quickly create applications like that. You can use that type using the touch cover. The type using the type cover, or you could even. What I prefer to do is that I actually find that on-screen keyboard tends to be very, very responsive, very, very quick and easy. I tend to find that it's very, very nice. It's very, very quick. It's very responsive, and I do like it to other keyboards on tablets, like the iPad or the Nexus, where it does tend to be most limited because you don't have any speech typing or any sort of gesture typing like you do on the Android devices. But you can, split it to half, so you have one-handed, two-handed operation where you don't have to move your hands. You can even use a stylus, so I can say hello, and it will automatically render that, and then I can insert it into whatever I want. And one feature I really thought was good, and I think that every tablet should have in the first place, is the ability to multitask. And this means this means true multitasking in a way that you can split the screen and you can have applications on different sides. So you can see here I can swipe in and out of and I get all my tabs, different applications that I've open all at the same time, and I can easily click them and drag them in, and then the screen will automatically split. So here I've got People's App notification loaded up, which is all my social networks and things like that. And I've got Internet Explorer, which I can just quickly zoom in on that, zoom in and out of that. So I can do a lot of different things at the same time, and you can obviously choose the size of the tabs. So if you want more of the web browser and a little bit of that, and you can choose that, and pinch the zoom is very smooth right here, and it's very, very nice. And I'm really disappointed that other tablets don't have that. I really miss doing this whole type of thing on iPads or Android devices like the Nexus. Now, overall, my genuine opinion of this tablet is that, for me, there are some key points that really just kills the tablet. It's the fact that you don't have a very good screen resolution, so the videos don't look as good as they should be. The fact that there aren't a great deal of applications, so it's not a tablet that you can do a great deal with, or that I could say, okay, maybe it might not have a lot of apps, but it's got a very good resolution, it's got sort of very, very high PPIs, but it doesn't have a lot of key things that I really like. But it is very good for things like multitasking. You can obviously very easily operate it. It tends to be generally smooth. There are some laggy things. For example, the home button you have right here, it tends to slow down sometimes. It doesn't tend to really be as reactive as I'd like, and it just sort of slows down and just lags and becomes unresponsive. So it's not a perfect OS, and it's not a perfect device by any means. And I really do prefer other tablets compared with this, such as the iPad or the Nexus 10, or some other Android devices that I know. And it does tend to be, it lags on some things. Sometimes the screen doesn't react when you want it to, or it takes a bit of a while. And it's a bit of a hassle to operate, and it gets to the point where sometimes I just prefer to go on my phone, which I right now have an iPhone, which is a lot faster and a bit more smooth than this. But overall, as a tablet, if you want to be productive, you want a decent web browsing experience, it's very, very nice. It's very, very responsive at times when you need it. Again, very productive. You can do a lot of multitasking. If you like that sort of thing, this is the tablet to go for. But if you really want to play loads of games, things such as, a very good web browsing experience, a bit better than this. If you want to play if you want to do a lot with the tablet and you want to play loads of videos on it, you want to do a lot of things on it, you can't really do it with this one, which really, for me, is the biggest flaw with this device. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoy my review. Please don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and I'm sorry if I missed anything out. Please don't be afraid to leave that in the comments section below, and have a good day.